Okay, guys, this is a part 4. I knew this was going to be a long one. I said it on that first video. Go watch the others. You're not going to probably understand what's going on if you don't. I know it's a lot of teaching. Like I said, watch as your own risk. But part 1 talks about Revelation 12. Part 2 talks about Revelation 13. Part 3 is an overview and a very practical application so you understand what's going on spiritually in the end times. And this part 4 is a practical application so you understand what's going on physically in the end times, i.e., the tribulation component of end times, because we're actually already in the beginning of the end. Okay, so let's talk about it. As always, these videos are for educational purposes, so you know what I know. If you want to listen, hang out, not pop off. 2, comments can and will be used for educational purposes. So like a lot of people kind of say, they're like, oh, the mark's going to be physical. Oh, the deaths are going to be physical. Oh, there's going to be war in the streets. Don't confuse the spiritual war we are in with the physical realities of what's going to happen to propagate that spiritual war, okay? Satan does not want to kill anybody physically. That doesn't help his case. He wants to kill you spiritually. He wants you to follow him, right? In Matthew 4:4, well, in Matthew 4, period, did Satan try to kill Christ? No. Has Satan ever attempted to try to murder anyone? Not really. What he keeps trying to do is interfere with things happening, right? He keeps trying to interfere in that he wants you to believe in him. He wants to distract, right? He wants you to succumb to the world. He doesn't care if you die, okay? Nobody cares if you die. And I know this sounds harsh to say, but like these bodies were created to die. Okay? So the death that everyone tries to make the tribulation out to be is not physical, because we can look at we can study wars over the last thousands of years, over the last 6 millennia, and know they were just as gruesome then as they are now, if not even worse. Go study the Battle of Lachish, okay? That was awful. Go study warfare. Antichrist is not bringing any new sort of physical warfare on the scene, okay? This is a spiritual time of deception. It's a flood of lies. It's a flood of misinformation and deception, okay? Because that's Satan's real MO. That's the power he has. That's what he's doing. And so if you want to keep propagating the physical components of the tribulation, you're missing half the story, because this is a spiritual war for souls, specifically at the end here, which is why the seal that we see is in the forehead of the elect, and why we are told in Revelation 12 at the end, the dragon is wroth and wants to make war with the remnant of the seed who keep the commandments of God and have the testimony of Jesus. Those are not physical things. Keeping the commandments of God, Deuteronomy tells us that we're supposed to do in our foreheads and in our hands. Okay? Am I saying that the currency that that the Antichrist puts in place might not be a physical chip? No, I'm not saying that. Maybe that is what you get. I can tell you right now, the elect ain't going to get it. But probably it's not going to be that. It's probably not. Maybe it is, but ultimately, no, probably not. The people that Satan, Antichrist, the system, wants to make war with are those who keep the commandments of God and have the testimony of Jesus Christ. They know the Old Testament, they know the New Testament. Okay? They are well informed of the Bible. Are they better informed of the Bible than Satan? No. No, they're not. But they are informed enough to know what's going to happen at the end here. The physical component that is going to happen will be your resources and your circumstances are touched. Okay? That will happen because it's a one world system that he makes. So not only is it going to be like very interconnected, but if you're not partaking in it, it's going to be very easy to see that you're not. And that makes it very easy for him to know who isn't succumbing to the lie, right? It's like if you look at a classroom, 19 kids are on board with what you're saying, and one kid is not on board with what you're saying. Are you worried about the 19? Or are you worried about the one? You're worried about the one. That's who you're going after. Are you going to physically beat that kid into submission? Probably not. It's not going to help you. You're going to try to persuade that kid in the best of your ability to get them onto the side of the other 19. This is a mind game. This is a mind deception. However, it doesn't mean it doesn't touch your circumstances. So I said this in the other video. I've said this in videos before. You want to be as self-sufficient as possible in a world, in a system that has made you very not self-sufficient. Look around. COVID showed us this. We're very interconnected. Look around. If we have a blackout, very few people are prepared. Look around. If you lose all of your items in your home and your stuff, you are very much without resources, which scares people. They feel safe in their homes. They feel safe with their money. They feel safe with their stuff. That is not how we are told to feel safe. And that's very hard for most people to understand. We have a very carnal world, and we've all sort of bought into it. Very few people know what it is to exist outside of a system like what we have now, let alone what's going to come. COVID did us a solid in showing us how interconnected we are, right? The world basically shut down. We were like, oh, well, we can't do this and we can't do that and we can't do this and we can't do that. But it should have brought an alarm, which it did, and you see it now. It brings the alarm of, hey, wait a minute. I don't know why these people are telling me what I can and can't do as far as like buying stuff and going places and doing things, right? Like, it brought awareness to the fact that we are heavily dependent on grocery stores and on resources to be readily disposed to us. We live very in the moment. We live very instantaneously. We are not prepared. And so, I don't say this to scare anyone. It doesn't need to be scary, but it does need to be on the radar. The awareness needs to come in. If you're not making adequate preparations, you're going to see that it's very easy to be had. Okay? Like, as an awareness, right? We just look at the TikTok ban. The powers are against you. They don't care if you make money on TikTok. They don't care if you like TikTok. They don't care. They don't care if you learn on TikTok. Like, they don't care. Do you think Satan is going to care about you? No. Guys, no. Right? So they will leverage and use anything they can to make you succumb to what they want. And that's just like the spirit of Satan that we have now. That's not even him. That's not even woe to you on earth. Right? The scary thing is not babies dying in the streets and people being beheaded for the faith. Okay, because that ends the issue. The scary thing is living through a circumstantially difficult time. You're going to be living through a spiritual famine. Okay? Like, you're going to be living through some Elijah famine type times. And if you don't make the preparations, and again, not doomsday preparations, but like self-sufficiency preparations. God tells us these things so we can do that, right? He showed Joseph Pharaoh's dream so that he could save Israel from a punishment that was coming, right? He gives us what we need for the punishments that are coming for us to get through them. And we see that again and again and again and again and again in the Bible. And we're going to see it again coming in the next 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 years. Okay? If you have questions, I will make more videos. I don't want to beat a dead horse. I don't want to overscare anyone. I don't want to scare anybody. I want us to be prepared, not scared. Okay? Prepared, not scared. Aware, not scared. Aware, alarm, action, okay? This is awareness and we're in it. So please, like, if you have questions, go ahead and drop them. I'll make videos. Hopefully this helps. But again, this is an advanced study, so we'll see what happens.